Harihi, Harihi, Harihi. Om Tatsat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Shuddho Buddho Vimuktaha Shudishikara Giram Mukhyatat Paryabhumihi Yasmajjadam Samastam Jagadidam Amrtadvyapya Sarvam Sthido Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavataraihi Suranaravanajayir Rakshitam Sarvametad Tam Bhoomanam Mukundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhoomanam Mukundam Hridigatam Amalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhaka. Hari, Hari, Hari. Om Tatsat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. As usual, we shall have the collective recitation of the auspicious monosyllable Omkara 3 times. Remember, every one of you should have your own specific thought in your mind that our collective voice recitation should spread upon the whole of the earth, showering its benedictions on every creature thriving on our planet. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect, close your eyes, open the mouth and the heart and join me. There should be a wholesome and a full-throated participation. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi. We shall recite verse 2nd chapter 7th. Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhava.
Karpanya dosho bhagata svabhava.
Pruchhami tvam.
Pruchhami tvam.
Dharma sammudha cheta.
Dharma sammudha chetaha.
Yachreyasya.
Yachreyasya.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Nishchitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham.
Shishyasteham.
Shadhimam.
Shadhimam.
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham.
Shishyasteham.
Shadhimam.
Shadhimam.
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam prapannam.
We were discussing the 27th verse of the 6th chapter. The chapter itself is devoted to meditation and realizing the self. Meditation is necessarily a means, but meditation also is an effort, you should understand. In meditation, primarily the mind works. The mind goes on thinking. It's optional thought. Not all thoughts. One optional thought is taken up and that is preserved in the mind. So it continues to preserve it vigorously, devoutly, wholesomely. Because this optional thought will contain whatever the seeker you want. You should select the thought in such a manner that it expresses very clearly what you want in full measure. Then that thought, when it is held, preserved in the mind, to the exclusion of other thoughts, then you know what will happen, this also will vanish. Then what will happen? You will be taken to the very source of the thought process, mind process. And that source will not merely the source of the mind process, it will also be the source of all existence, expression and manifestation. The world is an expression, a manifestation, a display. So it is the source of all existence, all expressions and all manifestations. Now this is what will happen. Now this particular verse which we were discussing, prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaidi shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. The one person who takes to meditation, and by the pursuit of meditation, if the mind has become peaceful, serene, placid, quiescent, then you will find that mind, in that particular condition, I cannot call it a condition, in that particular nature, everything he seeks will come to him. Uttamam sukham upaidi are the words used. The best and the most exalted note of Sukha will approach him by itself. He doesn't have to seek it, yearn it and get hold of it. It will automatically come to him. Prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaidi shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. See, is there any self mentioned here? No. No self is mentioned here. Is there any knowledge mentioned here? No. Whatever is mentioned is only the placidity of the mind, serenity of the mind, quiescence that you are able to feel. So how to make the mind peaceful is the one cry, one goal, and the one purpose of all spiritual efforts. I think we have to speak quite much on this point. I have a verse from Vivekachoodamani which makes it very clear what are the two important qualities a seeker should have. Atyanta vairagyavata samadhi samahidasyaiva dridha prabodha prabuddha tattvasya hi bandha muktihi muktatmano nitya sukhanubhuti. The two qualities which will help right from the beginning to the end a seeker in order to reach his goal, realize his goal, is Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka, I believe, most of you have it. You only have to specify that Viveka. It should be the Viveka, discrimination about what is real and what is unreal. In answer you will find the whole world is unreal, transforming. Your body is also transforming. Mind, intelligence and ego are also transforming. All of them are not real but unreal. Then how can the unreal be? They are unreal. Unreal cannot be at all. Then they must have the support of the real in the form of a substratum. So if the body is unreal, mind, intelligence and ego also are, then what is the real substratum there? The substratum is the I. I is the substratum. We say my body, my body. I refer to my body as mine. So the I is first and last there. The body comes only in between. So that I is very, very prominent, pronounced. We are not going into it. That is our problem. Our body is inert, made up of matter, food. It has no potential to generate experience or knowledge. At the same time, we are always experiencing and knowing. So if the experience and knowledge cannot be ascribed to the body and senses, then what else is in us? That mind is there, intelligence is there. These are the source of all our experiences and knowledge. Understand it very well. So the substratum of the changing body, the substratum, that is what is the real aspect in it. That real is referred to by the I. So here in Vivekachoodamani, Shankara says, Atyanta Vairagyavata Samadhi. Samadhi is that wonderful state where the mind becomes pleasant, composed. It can even become ecstatic. That Samadhi, how can anybody have it? Atyanta Vairagyavataha. Only a person who has got an extreme degree of dispassion, Vairagya, he alone can have this Samadhi. Samahitasyaiva dridha prabodha. Unless you are able to practice Samadhi and make it repetitive and you are able to get into it whenever you want, you will not have dridha prabodha, steady consciousness, awareness or realization of the self. It is not enough if you realize the self during the meditation. You cannot always be meditating. You go into meditation from an interactional life and you come away from meditation into the same interactional life. So interactional life precedes and succeeds your meditation. So what will you do during the meditation? What will you do post-meditation and pre-meditation? That is something very important. Samahitasya dridha prabodha. Unless you are able to have a hold on your mind, the mind becomes pure, the intelligence also becomes very much intelligency. You will not be able to have a steady awareness or realization of the self. Prabuddha tattvasya hi bandha mukti. That prabodha, awareness should become steady. What does it mean? You must be a self-realized person every time in your life. Don't say that I meditated 1 hour in the morning and in the morning I was in the self. I realized the self. No. Self is ever present. So your realization of the self should also be ever and ever. You cannot say, I realize the self 1 hour in the morning during meditation and for the rest of the hours of the wakefulness I lost that awareness. That is not correct. Prabuddha tattvasya hi bandha muktihi. Only when your knowledge and awareness of the truth remains constant, consistent and wholesome, unbroken, ever steady, then alone you will have liberation, freedom from bondage. Mukta atmano nitya sukha anubhūti. Only for one who is liberated in this manner, nitya sukha anubhūti, incessant experience of, what shall I say, blessedness, ecstasy, delight, contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment. If you want to have consistent fulfillment, you have to have a liberated level. What is liberated in you? The I is liberated. It always remains the witness. It always remains the experiencer. All the things are experienced by it. Dukkha is experienced, Sukha is experienced, doubt is experienced, delusion is experienced, ego is experienced, bondage is experienced, liberation also is experienced. So it remains the experiencer, the witness of all these. And it is already the witness, you don't have to make it a witness. And you cannot make more of its witnesshood. That is also not possible. So that knowledge is very important. That knowledge, how will you have? So ultimately, what is the purpose or goal of meditation? Is it always to meditate and never get up from it? Then what is the point in having it? How do you know that you have known? All people are persuaded into meditation. And the purpose will be, make them always meditate. And they will not be of any interaction purpose at all. Is it that? No, not at all. Meditation is only a means. The objective is not meditation. Meditation is only a means. By meditation you will have to realize the self which is ever present in you. So your realization also should be ever present. At that point of time, there is no differentiation between meditation and non-meditation. Now this is what he refers to here. Prashantamanasam hyanam. That mind should become placid. It should become serene. It should become peaceful. And you can have a peaceful mind anytime, anywhere in your life. That is the dexterity that you have to achieve. If you ask me, my answer will be, knowledge is the greatest persuasion, correction and fulfillment for man. Greatest persuasion, correction, sublimation, enrichment, elevation, knowledge. This knowledge is available to the intelligence. Just like you say 5 plus 3, 8. In the same manner you will be able to feel and explain the self. So let us discuss the subject more. Generally we consider Shankaracharya to be a great person, a person par excellence in his knowledge of the self. Don't you think so? A great master. I want to tell you about an incident that took place in Shankara's life. In the whole of our country, if there is one place which is considered to be the most holy, it is Varanasi. In Varanasi, who is the Lord? The Lord is called Vishwanatha. In Puri we have Puri Jagannatha. See? In all other places you will find either Rama or Krishna or X or Y. Some god or goddess named will be present. Here it is Vishwanatha. So the moment you go to Benares, you have a sense of omnipresence. The Lord of the universe. He doesn't have any particular name at all. Actually speaking, he has no form also. Because he is a Vishwanatha, Lord of the universe. So he has to be present throughout the universe. So how can he have a form? So we go there. How many people go to Varanasi? Many live there. They feel if anybody dies in Benares, in Varanasi, he will get liberated. So much is the feeling, fervor in the minds of the people. So Shankara was one day going there. He was proceeding towards maybe the Kashi Vishwanatha temple. At that time, he encountered somebody there. He encountered. This is how the author represents the scene. Satyacharyasya gamane kadajin muktidayagam kashi kshetram pratisaha gaurya marge tu shankaram anyaveshadharam drishtva gaccha gacchedi chabravid shankaraha sobi chandalastam punaha praha shankaram. Bah. Every one of you should remember this instance as a model, as a reminder, as a corrector, as an improver, as an enricher, as an elevator, as an enlightener, as an illuminer. This wonderful scene. So Shankara with his disciples, he was going. He was a person born and brought up in Kerala. See, in my young days, they were the days of untouchability. When I was studying in the 7th or 8th class, untouchability was removed by a proclamation by the king. So until then it was in vogue. So in my young days, whenever we used to go, we always used to say, ha, ha, ha. When the sound is heard, all the people who belong to the lower communities, they will keep away from the path, keep away. Shankara was brought up with that kind of a tradition. So you can imagine, the habits cultivated at childhood, they may not even leave you until the body is burnt. Such habits are there. So when he saw this person, Anyaveshatharam drishtva. The person whom he saw, he was dressed in a very strange manner. The dress indicated that he was a person belonging to the lower level. So that person, along with his wife, they were going. Maybe they had some animals also with them. So seeing them, Shankara instinctively, either he or his disciples shouted, ha, ha, keep away, I am Shankara coming. You are not supposed to be on my path. So go, so that I may not be able to see you. I will not see you. So when he shouted, he is saying, Kadajit muktidayagam kashi kshetram. The kashi kshetra is supposed to be delivering, bestowing mukti. Gaurya saha marge. Lord Shiva himself was going, but with a prachanna vesha, with the dress of a chandala. So he was going. So he saw Shankara and he also heard what he was shouting. So instantly he turned back and he said, Shankaraha sobichandalastam punaha praha shankaram. Normally the person would have heard him and kept away from his sight, Shankara's sight. In this case, it so happened that that person responded. Can you imagine? That itself was a surprise. Stunning surprise. What did he ask? All of you should remember this incident. Annamayad annamayam athava chaidanyameva chaidanyat dvijavara dhurikartum vanchasi kim bruhi gaccha gacchedi. I don't know when I happened to hear this. In our young days, this Kaladi, Shankara's birthplace, is not at all away, very, very nearby. So we used to have Shankara's story as a kind of a commonplace affair in our life. We used to know a lot of detail and we used to speak to each other, discuss also, and my mind must have imbibed lessons, values, even ideals by such discussions and memories. So he says, you are asking me to go away. What is this? I am maybe within your visible limits. You want me to get away from. What do you mean by that? That means I have to be distanced. Annamayad annamayam. My dear Shankara, your body is made up of food. This body, my body, is also made up of food. Yours is Annamaya. My body is also equally Annamaya. Food made. And all of us are eating the same food available on earth. There is nothing other than that. All the food substances are, in one way or the other, grown upon the earth. So you are consuming them and your body is built, is preserved. I am also consuming the same type of food, whatever is available on the earth. So both the Annamaya Shariras are alike. And you are asking one Annamaya Sharira to go away, keep away from the other? Or are you asking that which is present in the inert body, the sentient presence, the self, are you asking the self to go away? Chaidanyameva chaidanyat. If you are asking me, the living jiva, to go away, is it not all-pervading according to your philosophy? If it is all-pervading, the inner presence in my body which animates and activates the body, what is present in me is all-pervading. What is present in you is also equally all-pervading. That all-pervading presence, can it go away from what? Can there be any distancing or separation so far as the permeating presence in the body is concerned? Dvijavara dhuri kartum vanchasi. You seem to be wanting, desiring some kind of a separation, distancing. Is it possible? If it is the body, both are impure. If it is the soul, it cannot be separated or distanced at all. Kim bruhi gaccha gacchedi. So your utterance, gaccha, 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 go away, go away, go away. What does it denote, indicate? What does it convey? Tell me. See, what is this? I don't know whether Shankara had a shock or he had an enlightenment. Oh, what did I do? See the manner in which he speaks. So the mistake is obviously in me, in my own realization, in my own applying what I have realized. Now this kind of a delusion can grip the human mind at any time, anywhere. So one has to be extremely careful. So somehow I missed Such a missing should never take place in my life. So immediately he was enlightened, prickingly. And then, what more? The Chandala who spoke to him, who questioned him, he followed it up with a statement. He was speaking in a very enlightened and enlightening manner. Kim Gangambuni Bimbidem Baramanau Chandalavadipaya Pure Chandaramasti Kanjanakhadi Mrutkumbhayor Vambare Pratyak Vastuni Nistaranga Sahajanandavabodha Budhau Viproyam Shopajoyam Ityapimahan Koyam Vibhedakrama. I like this verse very well. The moment I saw it, I must have learned it. King Gangambuni Bimbidem Baramanau Chandalavadi Bhayapure Chandaramasti Kanjana Ghadi Mrutkumbhayor Vambare. I repeatedly say, this is the culture of India. This is the greatness of this holy land. Here, instances of this kind will certainly take place. They are very liberally present here. Where stands Shankara the Great? And where is this wayfarer Chandala? But see the manner in which he speaks. Kim Gangambuni Bimbidem Baramanau Chandalavadipaya. Tell me, my dear Shankara, is there any difference between the sun reflected in the waters of Ganga, and in a small ditch in a Chandala's cottage, there is a ditch and there is some water, muddy water there. There also the sun is reflected. Can you tell me, is there any difference between the two reflections? And do the two reflections make any difference to the sun which gets reflected? The muddy water in the ditch of a Chandala's house and the great holy river that flows from the Himalayan peaks, there is a lot of difference between the two. But for the sun reflected in both, is there any difference, he is asking. Again one more question. Pure Chandaramasti Kanjana Ghadi Mrutkumbhayor Vambare. You are very intelligent. You expose the self and the soul, and you always liken it to the wonderful space which cannot be divided, which cannot be penetrated, which cannot be walled up. So let me know from your own mouth, what about the space contained in a golden jar? Kanjana Ghadi Mrutkumbhayor Vambare. And a clay jar. Is there any difference between the space contained in the two, if at all? Or the sun reflected in both places? One in Chandala's ditch water, another is Ganges water. Pratyak vastuni nistaranga sahajananda vabodham budhau. As far as I understand, I am able to know, inwardly there is only one presence. Externally grossness is there, gross bodies also are there. And the bodies can be separated. But so far as the inner presence is concerned, like space, it is absolutely subtle. And by its very nature it is all-pervading. Being so, looking at which you say Chandala, and looking at which you say Vipra, Brahmana, I can understand. There is a difference between the mud pot and the golden pot. But what about the sky that is contained in it? So the soul reflected, or the soul which animates the body of a Chandala and the body of a Brahmin, is there any difference at all? And devoid of the soul, without this animating presence, what is this body? It will never remain alive at all. So in every body, the body is more important, or the inner presence is more important. If you take the inner presence into account, it is the same everywhere. Then where from have you picked up this idea of separation and you ask me to go away? Viproyam shubhajoyam ityabhimahan koyam vibheda brahma. You are erudite. You are a knower of truth. How suddenly you picked up this delusion, my dear Shankara? This was the question raised by Chandala. Great Shankara had the humility to accept whenever any such correction or enlightenment sprang up. So immediately he composed 5 verses called Manisha Panchakam. The first verse in the Manisha Panchakam is this: Jagrat swapna sushupti shuspudadara ya samvidujrambhate ya brahmadi pipiligam tatanushu proda jagat sakshini saivaham nacha drishyavastviti dridhaprajnapi yasyasti chet chandalostu sadudvijostu gururityesha manisha mama. Whoever points the truth to be, whether he is a Chandala or otherwise, he is my Guru, Sadguru, he says. Openly he admitted it, right at that very moment. This is how, my dear souls, knowledge works. All of you have to repeatedly tell me, Swamiji, what you have said I have understood. Means, intellectually I have understood. These are their words. Other than the intelligence, what is there in you to understand? Can your nose understand? Can your hand or feet understand? What understands in us is only the intelligence. And if the intelligence understands, that is the only knowledge which will be functional. Where did you understand 5 plus 3? 8. It is in the same place you understand the spiritual truths also. There is no difference. But once the intelligence knows it, should it not be sufficiently effective in the whole of your personality? Why it is not acting? It is only due to lack of your sincerity, wholesomeness, assiduousness, lack of diligence. We have only one faculty called intelligence, which can deal with knowledge. The mind cannot deal with, the ego cannot deal with, our senses cannot deal with knowledge. So if you know it in the intelligence, that is more than sufficient. But you don't allow the intelligence to bring about the necessary correction in you. There is resistance. There is delusion. How suddenly he said, Jagrat swapna sushupti shuspudadara ya samvidujrambhade ya brahmadi pipiligam tatanushu proda jagat sakshini. We have 3 states: wakeful state, sleep and dream. In all the 3 states, there is only one awareness. I am wakeful, I slept, I dreamt. Without the I, none of these three states can ever be. Wakefulness is an expression of the I. Sleep is again another expression. Dream is also a third expression. In all the three states, the I is present. And this is the one thing that is present right from Brahma up to the ant and a blade of grass. I am actually that inner presence, inmost presence, which animates the body, activates the body, manifests the three states and reveals them. I am not the object called the body. I am not the object called the Panchabhutas. I am always the subject in me, subject in me, subject in me. The subject can never become the object, nor can the object ever become the subject. I am the witness, all the rest are witnessed. The witness cannot be the witnessed, and the witnessed can never become the witness either. The difference between the two is quite patent, quite evident. Whoever has this kind of a clear understanding, whether he is a Chandala or a Dvija, he is definitely my Sadguru, and he prostrated before him. My dear souls, the point I want to emphasize before you by citing this instance is, knowledge is the only correcting element in human being. Spirituality is all exposure of knowledge. We call it subject knowledge. The subject is the only factor which you are unable to penetrate into and understand. We have eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell, tongue to taste, and skin to touch. Touch what? All external objects. None of these senses has the power to go inside and perceive a thought, perceive the thought process, perceive the thinker. They are all inside the body in the subject domain, so that the subject domain cannot be accessed by the senses. You can access them only through your mind and intelligence. Unfortunately, you have trained your intelligence and mind only to observe and analyze the objects of the world. In all the classes and the universities, object knowledge alone is dealt with. Nothing else. Nothing else. But this comes not under the object, but under the subject. Say your mind, where is it? Within the body. Your intelligence is within the body. Your ego is within the body. Where is the thought process? Where is the emotional process? Where is the memory process? Where is the rational reason process? All these are within. It is not the senses that notice them. Nevertheless, you can notice, you can understand. The mind does it for us. The intelligence does it for us. So using the mind and the intelligence, you should get into your own body and try to understand what is present there and what are the processes that transpire there. What shall I tell you? I don't understand. See, you cannot say, intellectually I have understood it. How else will you understand it? Whatever you have understood intellectually, make it a pursuit. Let it work in your mind and intelligence, purifying and sublimating them, sharpening them, reforming and refining them. Let the mind shed all its constrictions and impurity. Let it become serene, sublime, noble, good, great, and expansive. and the intelligence be able to go into what is present inside the body and try to know what is the thinker, what is the thinking process, what is the thought, what is the thinking substance, where is thinking going on, how do I perceive the objects. You see a tree at a distance. The mind first of all wishes to observe the tree and directs the eye in that direction. Then the light rays reflected from the tree strike the cornea. Electrical pulses are sent up to the brain center, where you experience and know the tree. So in perceiving the tree, tell me whether there is any external function at all or not. It is the mind that wishes to see. So the mind directed the eyes. Eyes have not done anything. They are still in the body, in the face. So the eyes were open and it was looking in the direction of the tree. Automatically this process followed. Now this process, where is it taking place? Our body and eye senses are inert. They cannot generate an experience or knowledge. So how can the eye, being inert, perceive the tree? That is why the light rays energy, they fell on the cornea, touched the cornea, and instantly there was a biological reaction, as a result of which electrical pulses were sent up to the brain. Is it not inside? So you tell me, the entire process of perception, is it internal or external? Is there any externality at all? Where is the mind? So mind wished and it employed the body. The mind is animating and activating the body and senses. The senses cannot work by themselves. Every activity of the senses, big or small, is animated, shaped and activated by the mind. So the mind is internal, within the body. If the mind is within the body, the mind processes are internal. That the tree is to be seen, therefore the mind directed the eye in that direction and all the processes took place. And it is the mind that perceives and knows. Body has no capacity to know. Mind being internal, all the mental processes are also internal. Thought is internal, thinking is internal, thinker is internal, perceiver is internal, perceiving process is internal, perception is internal. So is there anything called external at all in our experience and knowledge? Answer me. Answer me. Using your intelligence, not your eyes and ears. Now when this is explained to you, should not knowledge guide you? That is what is happening here. The moment Chandala asked him, what are you asking to be distanced? Is it the Annamaya body or is it the all-pervading soul? In the case of both, it is impossible. Suddenly Shankara fell into a trap and he became enlightened. And that enlightenment he expressed in the form of a composition of 5 verses called Manisha Panchakam, in which he was acknowledging openly the greatness and the teacherhood of the Chandala in front, whom he asked you to go away. This is how it should work in you also. When I expose the truth, instantly you should respond like Shankara. Then you will say, Swamiji, I am not Shankara. Why? Why? Shankara had only one body, 5 senses, 1 intelligence, 1 mind. Are you not also qualified? Have you not studied for several years? 12 years of schooling. Another 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, depending upon the type of course that you have taken. So by the time you complete your education, it will be several years of schooling and college. After having spent so much of time, how dare you say the science and process of knowledge you are unable to understand, appreciate and apply? Is it not a shame? Know it very clearly. Intelligence alone we have in the matter of dealing with knowledge. And whatever the intelligence finds or advises, that alone will be able to work in you. So employ your intelligence for what it is worth. Be true, be honest, be wholesome, be assiduous, be earnest, be diligent. Yada samkshiyade prano manasam cha praliyade tada samarasatvam cha samadhirabhidhiyade. The word samadhi is very popular in our country. Now it has become in the world also. Samadhi, 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 samadhi. What is this samadhi? It is a word used, but it is not understood well. We have so many scriptural compositions in us, with us, each of which is discussing samadhi. Here, from which particular verse I started explaining all this? Prashanta manasam hyenam. When the mind becomes prashanta, placid, peaceful, quiescent. So that quiescence of the mind is called samadhi. It is not anything else. You should be able to sit in a place, maybe cross-legged, or maybe even on a chair. Then interlock your fingers and put them on your lap, close your eyes, and try to be still, poised, comfortable, calm, cool and peaceful. If you are able to feel peacefulness, then that is samadhi. What becomes peaceful? Your mind becomes peaceful. What is this mind? The inner presence. That inner presence is the self that you are looking for, hunting for. Our body is made up of Panchabhutas. All of them are inert. The only presence in the body, the inner presence, that is the sixth factor, and that is the truth. Mind is its own functional note, intelligence is another functional note, ego is still another. Substance-wise, all the three are not different. It is the same. It is like the legs, standing, walking, jumping, sitting, lying. It is the same legs, doing different functions. Yada samkshiyade prano manasam cha praliyade tada samarasatvam cha samadhirabhidhiyade. See, here is the definition of samadhi. It is Haṭhayogapradīpikā, where the pranic propulsion, samkshiyade, our breath becomes thinner, thinner and thinner. I am only explaining it. I don't want you to do all this. When the pranic function, the pranic propulsion, it's not like that. Simply sit. Let the breath become thinner and thinner. To such an extent that the movement cannot be felt even when you hold a little bit of cotton in front of the nose, below the nose. It will not move. The breath can become so thin. When the pranic propulsion becomes very thin, manasam cha praliyade. The mindfulness, the mind processes, they also become dissolved. Tada samarasatvam. You attain a samarasatva. You attain a kind of equalness, equipoise. Samadhi abhidhiyate. That is called Samadhi. I am not going to explain it in detail further. I only want you to know. Na shrinodi, na chagradi, na sprushadi, na pashyadi, na janadi, sukham dukham, na sankalpayade manaha. You all think that the mind will be always agitated. But here is Bhoomananda Swami telling you that the same mind which is agitated can also become calm, cool and poised. The question is, do you want the mind to be poised? Then tell the mind, my dear mind, I want to be poised, I want to be poised, I want to be poised, 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 poised. You will become poised. If you say once, it will not have any impression on the mind. Mind is desultory. So to have influence on the mind, you should repeat this idea several times. Several means how many? Not hundreds, not thousands, in tens of thousands. So when you reach that calm and quiescent state of the mind, na shrinodi, na chagradi, na sprushadi, na pashyadi. You will not be hearing, you will not be smelling, touching, seeing. You will not know either sukha or dukkha, happiness or misery. Na sankalpayade manaha. The mind will not have any kind of a desire or a fascination. My dear souls, this is Samadhi. This is Samadhi. Don't think that suddenly you go and sit and you get Samadhi. No, no. That is not the enlightened fruition. It is a deluded notion. Na cha api kinchit janāti, na cha buddhyati kāṣṭhavad, evam shive vilīna atma samadhistha ihochyate. Yatha jalam jale kshiptam, kshire kshiram ghृते ghृtam, avishesho bhavet tadvad jivatma paramatmano. I am wondering whether I should expose these things or not. We all feel we should read a lot. We should become enlightened. Read. Must be prepared to quote from here and there. Not at all. That is only an indulgence to spend your time, to knock your ego, to sublimate it. There is a craze for knowledge. So one book after the other is brought and read. Why read all this? Let me ask you one question. Where was Arjuna? Where was Krishna? Both of them were in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the midst of 4.5 million warriors. All of them have already taken their bow and arrow and they are about to discharge their arrows. Right at that time, Arjuna's confrontation took place and he sought refuge under Krishna and Krishna began to speak. What did Krishna do? He only spoke. And what did Arjuna do? He only heard. Speaking and hearing, speaking and hearing, speaking and hearing. Whenever Arjuna had doubt or curiosity, he raised it and Krishna started feeding and catering to it. Like that, the dialogue lasted for about 2 to 2.5 hours. You tell me very clearly, don't miss this occasion. Tell me very clearly, did Arjuna do any meditation? No, there was no time. Krishna explained meditation. That is what we are discussing here. Like he was explaining other subjects, he also explained what was meditation and meditational fruition. Now we are coming to the verse where Prashanta manasam hyenam. When your mind becomes placid and quiescent, automatically you will have Brahma Sukha. And that Sukha need not be sought, but it will come to you by itself. So you deserve to have Sukha. You don't even invite it. It comes by itself, provided your mind is calm, mind is poised, mind is serene and peaceful. Did not Arjuna's mind become peaceful? Yes. Krishna asked him, did you hear me well? Could you hear me with concentration? One-pointedness. He said, yes. What about your stability, doubt and indecision? Indecision has gone. Instability has gone. I have restored my stability. I am very clear why I have come here. All around me are fighters to come to fight against me. I have also come, I have to fight against them. No matter who is standing, whether it is my grandfather or my teacher, they have themselves come. I have not asked them to come. And they want to fight me. When individually everyone is resolved to come and fight, for what? To kill the opponent or to get killed by him. So I am very clear about why we are here and what everyone is supposed to do. So I will fight not one, if necessary, a score of Mahabharata wars. I am going to take back my weapon, bow and arrow, and go on fighting. Now this kind of a clarity and decision, how did Arjuna get? Did he do any meditation there? Where was the occasion? Where was the time? It was the clarity provided by the intelligence. The attunement the mind was able to develop towards the intelligence. By absorbing the message Krishna delivered, that absorption was by the mind, in the mind, into the mind. The mind got restructured there. Completely restructured. Initially there was doubt, there was fear, there was ignorance, there was delusion, there was suspicion. But now all that has simply vaporized. Was it with meditation? No. So you tell me whether knowledge has the power to dispose of all the problems of the mind or not. Answer me. Every one of you should tell me the answer. Sri Rama had an 18-day discussion with Vasishtadeva in the palace of Ayodhya, but Rama was only 15 years old. Both Arjuna and Krishna are middle-aged and they are in the war front. Rama was in the palace. That is why they could leisurely have a discussion for 18 days from morning to evening every day. And Sri Rama was also enlightened and illumined. How? Only by hearing absorbing the message delivered by Vasishtadeva. What do you mean by absorbing a message? When you eat food and it goes into the alimentary canal, it digests it and converts it into blood. In the form of energy, it remains in the body. In the same manner, the mind will absorb the ideas and ideationally the growth will be there. Knowledge will be formed. Little by little or faster, ignorance will be dissolved and knowledge will be evolved. That was happening. Did Sri Rama meditate? Certainly not. What about Krishna delivering the message from Dwaraka to Uddhava? In Bhagavad Gita we have 700 verses. In Uddhava Gita we have 1000 verses. At the end of the talk, what did Krishna say? Uddhava, straight away go to Himalayas, Badrikashrama. Live there, see me everywhere. Take bath in Alakananda, the holy Ganga. Breathe the cool air of Himalaya mountains. Simply live there. Uddhava was able to dissolve his attachment, confusion, etc., and simply took the sandals from Krishna, put them on his head, prostrated before Krishna, wetting his feet, and he started turning back and went away to Badrikashrama. How this happened? Did Uddhava sit and meditate? Did Rama sit and meditate? Did Arjuna sit and meditate? None of them did. What about sage Ashtavakra Samhita going to Janaka's palace in Mithila and talking to him in response to Janaka's submission? There also it is the same. Everywhere it is a question of exposition by words, absorption by the listener, and transformation inside instantaneously. We speak about knowledge. Ultimately what happens? The mind becomes so placid that you remain poised. The craving for knowledge is not there. The torment by the mind is not there. All desires, all anxieties, all tensions, all agitations, all cravings, all of them subside in their own source, their own source. Is it meditation? How this happens? How it happened in the case of Arjuna and Sri Rama? It is just like yatha jalam jale kshiptam, kshire kshiram krite kritam. As you pour water into water, milk into milk, ghee into ghee, avishesho bhavet tadvade jivatma paramatmano. That which you call jivatma and paramatma, there is no difference between the two. The jiva itself, when properly understood, becomes the Supreme Self. When you understand it, coupling it with the body limitations are clamped on it. But actually it is only animating the body. It is not part of the body, or it is not like the body. My dear souls, it is a question of understanding the truth, understanding the subject. That understanding makes all the difference that you are looking for. This is Garuḍapurāṇa. Dhyayataha paramatmanam atmastam yasya yoginah manastan layatam yadi samadhistasya kirtidah. Dhyayataha paramatmanam atmastam yasya yoginah manastan layatam yadi. The mind thinks about what? The self, God. Means what? What do you mean by God? Is there any example for God? Illustration? No. He is omnipresent. Omnipresent. Being omnipresent, there is no second factor at all. Only His omnipresence. So when you start grasping this omnipresence, if God is omnipresent, what is my mind? It is included in that. There is nothing besides omnipresence. So my mind is also that. Intelligence is also that. Ego is also that. Thinking in this manner, when all ideas become the self, manastal layadam yadi, the mind gets dissolved into that omnipresence. That is called Samadhi. Prashanta vrittikam chittam paramanandadayagam asamprajnata namayam samadhir yoginam priya. There are so many verses. Uttara Gita, Haṭhayogapradīpikā, Muktikopaniṣad, Garuḍapurāṇaṃ, so many verses are there. śāṇḍilya says, Marude madhyasanchare manasthairyam prajayade yo manas sustiro bhavaha saivavastha manonmani. They refer to words like manonmani, unmanyavastha, etc. What is all this? When the mind is freed from the grip of desires, when the mind does not have anything to aspire for, anything to crave for, automatically it becomes still. Drop your desires. The mind becomes still the next moment. Nirastha vishayasangam sanniruddha manohridi sadāyātyunmani bhāvaha tadā tat paramam padam. Nirastha vishayasangam sanniruddha manohridi. Deny, eliminate, refuse, disentangle the mind from that vishaya asanga. The mind needs nothing to become joyous. Joy is its creation. The world consists of objects alone. No object can generate joy. Joy is generated only by the mind. So in pursuit of joy, should you run after the objects? Nonsense. No. When you stop running after the objects, what is happening? Nirastha vishaya sangam sanniruddha manohridi. The mind becomes restrained in your own heart. Sadāyātyunmani bhāvaha tadā tat paramam padam. It attains to an unmani bhava. And that is the supreme abode. Nivartayantīm nikhilendriyāni pravartayantīm paramatma yogam saminmayīm tam sahajāmanaskām kada gamishyami gadanyabhavaha. This is a composition of Shankara from Yogatārāvalī. These are all very beautiful verses. My idea is to tell you that there are a number of texts in our country on the subject of Samadhi, meditation, attaining fulfillment, etc. Know it. This is a country where the subject has been taken up by a number of thinkers, a number of practitioners. They approached it through breath, through prana. They approached it through asanas. Ultimately they converged where? In the mind and the buddhi. Mind and the buddhi. People who practice yogasanas, asanas are for the body, mudras also are for the body. But the experience does not come from either the asana or the mudra. It does not come from breath. It does not come from prana. Anubhava or experience is only mental, intellectual. Prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaidishyam tarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham nivartayantim nikhilendriyani pravartayantim paramatmayogam samvinmayim tam sahajam amanaskam kada gamishyami gadanyabhavaha. This is Shankara, lofty thought will be there. Nivartayantim nikhilendriyani. Withdrawing all the senses from their respective functions. Pravartayantim paramatmayogam. Practicing the Paramatma Yoga, Samvinmayim Tam Sahaja Amanaskam. When will that mind-free state emerge in me, rise in me? Kada gamishyami gadanyabhavaha. So it is all the mind, my dear souls, mind. Repeatedly say, mind is the source of all our experiences, all our activities. Mind is the source. I am a mental being, not a physical being. I am a mental being. Repeatedly say this until you know that you are a mental being. And you don't have to say this anymore. It is already time, so let me stop. See, my summary instruction to all of you will be focused on your mind and intelligence. Intelligence is the only agency which can act on the mind. I have received a letter from a foreign country explaining that the writer is in immense mental trouble. Finally, when he disclosed it to his mother, the mother said, "Why don't you discuss it with Swamiji?" And he returned to me. So I have made out a reply. It will be mailed to him possibly tomorrow. What is the advice I am giving? I am setting forth what is this problem and how it has to be treated. It is a mento-intellectual interaction. The problem sensed by the mind. The intelligence has to find a solution for it. Intelligence is the only agency which can act on the mind. Nothing else in the whole creation. So you have to learn. This is a subject knowledge, not object knowledge. Object knowledge, objects are revealed by the senses. Here it is a subject which is revealed by the mind and the intelligence. The more and more you know about the subject, see, for example, I say, no object can generate joy for you. Is it not a truth and a fact? if no object can generate joy for you, for the sake of joy, why are you running after them? Joy is an emotion and mind alone creates it. So for the sake of joy, where should you turn to? To the objects or to the mind? Answer me. You put anybody before me, any dunce, but he must have intelligence, that's all. Joy is an emotion. It is generated by the mind. How can the objects generate? So why are we running after them? It's a sheer delusion. It's a sheer delusion. Would you like to foster delusion and strengthen it? No. So drop it. When I say drop it, then why are you struggling? Is it not very comfortable to drop your delusion and be wise? How beautiful is the practice. So this letter will be mailed to the person and I will wait for the reaction. What is this problem? Many people are saying we are suffering from depression. Every time you say I suffer from depression, you strengthen your depression. You stop it and then say, I don't have any depression. I don't have any depression. I am quite normal, joyous and very attentive. I am very attentive. Attention. Go on saying it and you will find the depression flees. It is a mental creation. It can be set right only by the intelligence. This is the way of intelligence. Okay. Samvedya varjitamanuttamamegamadyam samvitpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari Om Tatsat. Jaya Guru. We shall have a conclusional Omkara. Take your pose for it. One time. Hari Om Tatsat. Jaya Guru. I would like to know how you have listened to me, absorbed the message, and when will you assimilate it so that what you have absorbed remains with you as your knowledge treasure, always vibrant and active. Okay.